Canes are looking for a couple of coaches, man. As we all know, they lost a few coaches thus far in the offseason, and they are in that search. They're keeping it very, very close to the vest. There are opinions that are out there in the public, but I want to talk about a couple of the positions. Really, the cornerback, the cornerback coach, and the running backs coach. Let's jump on in on this thing. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez. Show out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave your comments, man. Love to, you know, like I told y'all, there's not a whole lot for to talk about right now. If I don't do tons of recruiting. I'm doing my lists right now. I hope you're enjoying those. Those lists, and definitely please check the video those videos out. But we got some coaches that we need to fill some spots for, and one of them is, of course, the running back position, and one of them is our defensive backs position. And let's jump on this thing, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments, follow us on Hurricanes Unfiltered on Instagram, where I drop some other content there that I don't drop on here. Appreciate you supporting. Go check out the merch site. Go hit hurricanesunfiltered.com, click on merch, jump in our merch store and grab some merch, man. We appreciate it. So let's talk about this right here. Running backs coach Matt Merritt moved on, and the Canes need a running backs coach. And right now, I'm sure there's plenty of candidates that they're looking at. But one of the questions that I'm seeing on a lot of boards and a lot of questions are what about Clinton Portis? Now, Clinton Portis, and I get the mentality that people have. They like to keep they want that loyalty, that passion, that you were from here, you played here, you won a title here, and the like. Clinton Portis does have some experience coaching running backs. He was a coach up at Delaware State under Deshaun Jackson. So the question is, could Clinton Portis be someone that Miami Hurricanes look at? Like in theory, I guess they could. Do I truly expect Clinton Portis to be the Miami Hurricanes' next running backs coach? I really don't expect it. Do I think it'd be pretty damn cool if it happened? Yes, I think it would be cool, but at the end of the day, they have to find the right person to fill the position. Now, Clinton Portis obviously has the ties to the University of Miami, but there's other things to consider here. And one of those things is that Clinton Portis' son, Camden Portis, has signed with Miami, and he'll be starting at Miami. He's with the Miami Hurricanes now. So, as a father, while he might be a candidate that they could consider, would the Miami Hurricanes, would Mario Cristobal really put himself in a position to hire Clinton Portis to be the running backs coach while his son is a member of the football team? That's a question. And does Clinton Portis have true interest, considering he is a father to a player on this team and would much rather watch games from the stands and not be completely involved in his son's football career? Now, it could go either way. And heck, would his son want him to be a coach on the staff? I think all these questions are valid questions that will be answered at some point. Do I think Portis ends up being the Miami Hurricane running back coach? I genuinely do not think it's going to happen. But man, he would be getting one hell of a group if he did. If he came to Miami and he ended up being hired as the head coach, not the head coach, as the running backs coach of Miami Hurricanes, he'd be inheriting a room of dogs, man. And I think that's something that gotta also be appealing. Now, again, I don't even know if he's a candidate. Just being honest, I don't know if he's a candidate. I know what I've read, and people always have these questions. People think guy leaves, let's go hire a former Miami Hurricane to be a coach. And while we do have that in some positions with Cristobal, obviously, as the head coach, and you also have Kevin Beard as the wide receivers coach. Don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's a possibility, I presume, but I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Is he someone that you would want as the running backs coach for the Miami Hurricanes? Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Portis did have a 1,000-yard rusher at Delaware State this year. Marquise Gillis rushed for 1,150 yards, 7 touchdowns, 184 carries, 6.3 yards per carry. So he did have a guy who was, fairly successful. I mean, really successful, if you want to be completely transparent with the running attack. He also had a 958-yard rusher in James Jones, who went for 98 carries, 958, 9.8 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns. And then the quarterback for Delaware State, Calvin Bennett, rushed 115 times for 564. So they had a pretty good rushing attack up at Delaware State, where they finished second in the MEAC and finished 8-4 overall in the MEAC. From what I'm seeing here, Delaware State averaged 291 yards rushing, which actually was number one in the FCS. So they were successful with him as the running backs coach, which means he did his job. It reads here, I'm reading at HBCUGameDay.com. It says the Hornets became one of the most physical teams in the country, leading on a ground attack that overwhelmed opponents weekly. Following Clinton Portis' departure, Delaware State's top two rushers, Marquise Gillis and James Jones, both transferred to FBS programs. Gillis went to Arizona State. Jones went to New Mexico State. There were some unconfirmed rumors surfacing that Portis had briefly accepted a role at FAMU before that fell through. The situation reportedly left the former NFL Pro Bowler as something of a coaching free agent. Now, there's smoke and plenty of it. This is according to HBCU Game Day. Obviously, the Hurricanes are looking for a running backs coach. And Portis was a member of that 2001 national championship team where he rushed for over 1,000 yards. Again, this is the question of whether or not. So clearly, he's been successful in his time doing the job. Obviously, it's one thing to do it at a Division I AA level, now come to Division I A level. But look, I don't think there's any issues with Portis and his knowledge of football and preparation for football and having guys ready to play. I just wonder if he wants to coach a team when his son is playing on. I think that's always something that's kind of dangerous, because you don't want to have yourself getting involved in other stuff. Let's say his son doesn't play a lot, and does that have an impact on him? And do people look at his son differently because dad is coaching the team, is one of the coaches on the team? He's not a running back, so I mean, as a defensive back, it won't really have an impact on him. It would be more concerning if his son was a running back and he decided to start his son, and was pushing to have his son start at running back. Then you have a lot of other questions. But I mean, the speculation is there. And I wonder. I do wonder. I don't think it's going to happen, because I do think that there are certain things that you want to keep separate. We all saw what happened with Deion Sanders coaching Shador and Shiloh Sanders. He was the head coach, though, and those guys had no rules. They had no rules at all in that building. They did whatever they wanted, and Daddy Deion allowed it to happen and never held them accountable for everything, at least not publicly. So now you've got Portis, and the question remains, do you want to be coaching a team that your son plays on? I don't know. Again, I think it'd be really dope. But and clearly he's done the job and had a great year at Delaware State. So yeah, let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. What do y'all think? Now, another position situation is the one at defensive back, with Zach Etheridge leaving the program and moving on to the NFL. Patrick Surtain Sr., when I was growing up, it was just Patrick Surtain. He is available right now. He is a former Miami Dolphins cornerback, all-pro corner, a great corner in his time playing in the NFL. 2-time first team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. He went to Southern Miss, had a great career in the NFL. He is now available as he was dismissed from the program from Florida State in December. Could he be a legitimate option for the Miami Hurricanes? I mean, one might reply and say, well, FSU stunk. Yeah, it doesn't mean that he can't coach better talent. And he does have the experience, and he is, I'm pretty sure he still has his main residence in South Florida as a former Miami Dolphins player. But that would be an interesting one as well. Now, again, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I think it'd be really cool as well. I think Patrick Surtain was a great football player. I think he brings a wealth of knowledge. I think it's really a great opportunity for young players to have people who have who have played at a high level in the NFL coaching them. And again, not everybody is successful at doing it. I think we saw great success with Jason Taylor with the defensive ends. I think the defensive ends have really taken well to Jason Taylor, and I think his knowledge, his expertise, his experience doing it makes him so much more credible with the players. Like, I think it's hard to discount what being great at something does when it comes to having other people listen to what you have to say. Of course, and I think that's from a positional standpoint. I think head coaches, those great players, don't generally make the greatest head coaches. But from a positional standpoint in football, I mean, God, who else wouldn't you want to learn from a guy like Jason Taylor, or as a DB, a guy like Patrick Surtain? Like, you could have two big-time former NFL players who did it at a very high level on your staff. I'm sure Mario Cristobal is considering all options. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think of Clinton Portis as the running backs coach? What do y'all think of Patrick Surtain as a DBs coach? I think Patrick Surtain would happen before Portis happens. I think just because of the logistical situation that his son is on this team. Like, the last thing you want to deal with is a dad turning into a dad and forgetting, you're the coach. This isn't champion for your son situation. So that's the biggest question. Do y'all think do you think there's a conflict of interest for Clinton Portis to be a coach for Miami? I mean, there's been so many different times where Lamar Thomas was basically begging to be the Miami receivers coach. We currently have a Hurricane wide receiver coach, former Miami Hurricane wide receiver coaching. But I remember Lamar Thomas was basically begging for the job for years. So I think there is the lure of former players wanting to do it. And again, I think isn't Damian Lewis also one of our defensive line coaches right now? I'm sorry, Damian Lewis. I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he was a defensive tackles coach for the Hurricanes this past year, and that D-line looked good, bro. I do think there's something to be said for the passion of being a former Hurricane, former player that, you wouldn't understand unless you lived it. And there's a certain passion level that's much higher than it might be for other people who are not from this program. So, like, you see it every day with Mario Cristobal. Like, there's a passion this guy's got for the Hurricanes football program that he couldn't have had he wanted to win, but he didn't have the same passion level for Oregon. And you see the energy he's got on that sideline now, and it's starting to become infectious. I like it. And, he does frustrate me at times, but I do like it. So, y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, let me know what you think, man. I'd love to hear it. Share the video. And if there's coaches guys that you think could be good options at these different coaching positions, let us know. We want to hear what you got to say, man. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like, subscribe. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.